Good morning, everyone. I am Jenn here in Denver, Colorado. How's everybody doing today? I see Tiffany and Crystal Jones. How are you guys? How's the market treating you? What areas are you in? Tiffany, tell me where you're from.
Southwest Florida.
And how's the market?
It's picking up finally.
Yeah. And this the high season for you?
It's going into it. It won't really pick up really good for another month, but it's starting to pick up a little bit. But we have another hurricane on the way, so who knows?
Yay! Crystal, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you.
And where are you?
I am in the Antelope Valley, so I'm about 45 minutes outside of Los Angeles.
Okay. And what do you think is going on with the market?
So I'm fairly new. This is actually going into my second week as a real estate agent. So kind of just figuring everything out. I know the market has increased significantly just because our prices are a lot better than Los Angeles. And you get like land, and so the market out here has been growing a lot.
Rock on. Well, it's always good to know your stats. So as a new agent, I'm going to tell you every single day of your life, if you're working, pick up, go to your MLS and pull up the stats for the area that you work in. How many are contract? How many sold? Know that number. Just because if you're out and about, you want to know, do you have an oversupply and undersupply? Because inevitably somebody's going to ask you how the market is. So do that every single morning.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I got a call from an agent this week that said they want me to go over what they should do to succeed in the first 6 months of 2025. Can you guys believe that 2025? I feel like I'm in a movie, right? I'm going to be 50 in December, and that means I was born in 1974. Not that this really matters, but I never even imagined, 2025 when we were a kid. It's really weird conversation. Sorry. I digress. Anyway, so if you want to succeed in the first half of 2025, you have to do these things. Okay? Just understand that everything you do today will pay off in 60 to 90 days. So while everybody else is out there going to networking and having drinks and, going up to the ski hill or whatever you do in LA or whatever, going out on the ocean or whatever you do in Florida, right? I don't think you go out this time of year. But anyways, when they're all kind of taking off the holidays, having fun, right? The people that put in the time and the energy today are the ones that are going to dominate the first half of 2025. So that is the one thing that I can tell you today, is that everything that you do today is going to pay off January to, June of next year. So that means get your database in order today. Like, get up early, spend an extra hour a day on your database, do your calls, plan out your social media. So I know this is like really old school and everybody else does it on a computer, but I'm very visual. And I'm old. So I like to put it on the board, and then I like to take my little stickies and go, okay, we're doing newsletters on this day. We're doing flags for Veterans Day. We're doing thank you cards. We're doing, holiday cards or Christmas cards or whatever you do. We're going to do pies. We're going to do, what days we're going to do our fun videos. And then that way you have something accountable. You can put it in your CRM calendar, but for me, I'm going to recreate, I'm just going to rough draft it here, and then I'm going to go up to the office and I'm going to do a big, huge calendar. And it's my goal this year to be accountable to myself. So if I put on that I'm doing a video this week, or if I'm going to do a market update this week, it's on my calendar. And if I don't check it off, then I've failed. So everything you do today will pay off the first 6 months. In fact, everything you do today takes 90 days to come to fruition, right? So if you go on a phone call today, if you go on the phone today and you call, 30 buyer leads, if you have buyer leads, right? If you call them, one of them will maybe apply. So our ratio is about 1 out of every 23 calls, we get a viable buyer or seller, right? So if we're doing the work and we're making the calls, one of those people will most likely fill out an application. Now, how long is it going to take me to get that person from application into a house? Anywhere from 60 to 180 days. But on average, it's around 90 if I can hook them in, right? And I don't mean that in a salesy way. I mean, like, if I can get them from the lender to the car, they'll end up buying within 90 days. So I've talked about this about 1 million times in the Agent Power Huddle in the last month, 2 months of doing these calls. The winter is the number one easiest time to be put in front of your client, right? So the Christmas cards, the holiday parties, you can rent a theater and you can do the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, right? You can do all kinds of really cool, fun things that interact with your clients and put you at top of mind. End of year value reports. So I just talked to my buyer's agent yesterday, and she was asking me the same question that I got from one of you guys. And I said, what we're going to do is we're going to take every single past client, and I know you don't have any, Crystal, I'm sorry, or maybe you do, but what we're going to do is we're going to take every single client that we have sold in the last 4 years. We're going to put them on a page or stick them in areas, right? And then we're going to literally do a end of year value report for the house. We're going to print return address labels, Christmas or holiday or whatever. Holiday is probably safest. Holiday end of year labels. And then we're going to put a nice little, happy holidays, whatever. And then there's going to be a little like QR code for HomeBot, which if they're not already in HomeBot, then that's going to go in there. Say, scan this to get a monthly report. And then we're going to put it in a nice little envelope that's branded, which is really important. Then their little value reports, then their return address labels. And that is the number one thing that's going to go out before Thanksgiving. So we're going to shoot for 250. And that should be easy because my database is huge, right? But if we can do 250 of those and get them out to our clients, then if they're thinking about selling, who do you think they're going to think of? They're like, oh, I got this really cool thing from Jenn. We're thinking about selling and moving to Florida, which everybody leaves here to go to Florida. We're thinking about leaving. Yes, Crystal. So interrupt me. So Jenn, ADD, if you ever have a question, just pop on and ask me because that's my style, right? But then what happens is you're top of mind, okay? So that was touch number one. It goes out before Thanksgiving. Now, if you think about agents, right? Almost everybody sends out a Christmas card, and I think you should, or a holiday card, whatever you celebrate, right? I think you should. And if you know that they celebrate Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or whatever, try to be cognizant of that and send that instead to those particular people, or just do a generic holiday, whatever. But every other agent's going to do that, right? So how many agents send out Thanksgiving cards? I mean, some do, but it's not as, as widely done as everybody else. The other thing is social media. Do you have your social media set? Are they seeing on social media? Are they getting your touches, right? I think the winter, the most important thing are printed touches, right? And if you can put any handwritten stuff into it, do it. Handwritten gets seen, especially if you have the, a nice enough handwriting to do the envelopes, because then they don't think they're just another number, right? So social media. So one of my points on that was like for Thanksgiving, because I always think about this whenever we do Thanksgiving. 99.99999% of all agents are going to put a happy Thanksgiving thing on their social media. Okay, cool. Does it get seen? Crystal, tell me, does the happy Thanksgiving post on Thanksgiving get seen? Nope.
Probably not too much.
But
they're eating.
Because they're eating it with their family. What if I told you to wait 2 days, right? And do 2 posts. And I don't suggest posting on Sunday, but maybe Friday night and then Saturday, right? So, but what was like a post that said, what was your favorite thing about your Thanksgiving celebration this year, right? And then get them to interact. Not only does that increase your algorithm because people are answering a question, so you're seeing more in all of your database, right? Versus just a stagnant happy Thanksgiving. Nobody's interacting with that. And if they like it, a like does nothing. A heart gives you a little bit more, but a comment gives you the most. So be asking a question. What was your favorite thing about Thanksgiving this year? What was your favorite dish? What did you do for Thanksgiving? Where did you go? Did you travel for Thanksgiving, right? Like all of these questions you could ask in a post. You could even put 2 posts if you really want to gain some ground, right? And then the day after Thanksgiving, so then you have Black Friday. So that's a really great one because did you do Black Friday on Amazon this year? Or did you go shopping? Who's going Black Friday shopping and what stores are you going to hit, right? That's a good post, right? So all of your posts don't have to be about real estate is my point, right? You want to be seen. And the winter is how you build your business for January, February, March, especially. And if you can get momentum in January, February, and March, then when you're getting these listings, all of the traditional marketing goes into place, right? So you get a listing in January, what are you going to do? You're going to post it on social media, right? Then you're going to use like something like Mailbox Power or send out cards or something, and you're going to do just list it. And as soon as it goes under contract, you're going to do under contract. And then when it goes sold, you're going to do sold cards to the 250 to 500 people around it, right? And then you're also going to use that in a printed, those listings that you get in January, February, and March that you worked on today to get, those are going to go in your newsletter. And your newsletter is digital and it's printed. I only print to like 200 people. I don't print to the 6,000 people in my database because I'm cheap, right? We're off 2 years. Anyways, so everything you do today will give you the listings for you to keep your year rolling, right? But when you get the listings, you have to do the things to keep your year rolling. That's my point, right? Tiffany, do you have any questions? I know you have this look on your face like.
No, I'm in the office and they're doing some funky stuff, so I'm trying to see what they're doing. But no, I'm just listening and taking it all in. You're doing good.
Okay, honey. So, Tiffany, what do you think that you could do right now, today, every morning, that would help you get business for January, right? Because if you wait till January, you're not going to have business till March, right? My dad always said, if you don't have something on your shelf, you're not in business. So we got to get something to the shop. How are we going to do that?
Definitely got to get my database in order.
Yeah. So the next time I talk to you, which could be next week or the week after, I want to know how many people are in your database, right? I want to know how many are your sphere. I want to know how many are your past clients, right? And I want to know who's a B client or C client, right? Your prospects. So you have to know these things, just like you have to know where the market is. How many people, like I went back to this at the very beginning. How many homes are for sale in Crystal's zip code this month? How many are under contract and how many sold in the last 30 days? You have to know that at any given time, right? And what's your absorption rate, your days on the market, versus, how long is it going to sell? Every single listing appointment I go to, it's totally sidetracked from what the actual point is today. But every single listing appointment I go, I say the absorption rate is 3 months or a month and a half or 2 months. So when you're pricing, you have to beat all of these other 30 homes that are in the zip code, right? Or within a 2-mile radius. Anyways, grants. So back to it. Everything you do today is going to pay off in January, February, and March. So you have to get in front of your clients. Tiffany, you have an office. Obviously, you have an office. So you could possibly throw a friends and family and client night, right? You could and then while you're there, you could team up with a lender and a title company and hire Santa and bring Santa to sit in the room and go to Canva and create a coloring page or a coloring book, probably a coloring page. And then send out the coloring page to everybody that you know with kids and say, hey, we're going to have a meet Santa night. Print out this coloring page and bring it in, and we're going to vote, or we're going to have Santa choose his favorite for a $10 gift card to the ice cream shop, right? And then now they're there and they're getting their candy that your lender supplied and your title company supplied, and Santa's there, and you are face to face with those people, right? You could also do like a pie drop off, right? Like you could go and drop off pies. The other great thing that I love to do to touch the people in the winter is I like to go to the dollar store and I like to buy like $50 to $100 worth of wrap, Christmas wrap, and then print a label for our team and put it on there, and maybe 2, depending on how you are. And then put like some scissors and some tape or whatever in there, and then just go drop it at the door. Hey, thank you for being a valued client. Just thought I'd grab you some extra Christmas or holiday wrap for, your season, yada, yada, yada. That's not as effective as sending the Christmas letter in a branded envelope with return address. But, if you're going to do that, you got to do it now. Like today, tomorrow, this weekend, take all your clients, do their return address with a nice little holiday, whatever on it. Do your nice little Christmas letter or holiday letter, or whatever you celebrate, and send it. Even if you don't do the CMAs or the values, send that. It's very effective, right? You could do the holiday letter with the return address, and then next week, you could follow up with it. Hey, as I was sending you your Christmas letter, your holiday letter, I thought, why not just send you an updated value and then send on next week? So this week, the holiday letter with the return address. Next week, they get the home value report, right? And so now they're thinking, I really want to get out of Colorado and move to Florida because I'm sick of the 36 inches of snow I got last week. which I did. Um, yeah, I won't go there. But there's a lot of people thinking that, right? They're thinking, what would I do? Where would I go? You know, especially the people with kids that are aging out. Their kids are going to college. They have these 3,600 square foot houses. They're ready to make a change, all of them, right? And if you watched the Barry Habib thing that happened Monday, he went through and explained like where the rates are going. And quite literally the way he explained it is we could go down almost a full % by January, February. And if that happens, how is that going to affect your market, right? So all these older people with that, so all these people that are, you know, thinking of the move, it's going to dawn on them January, February that they're ready to go, right? So if you've been hitting them up with handwritten notes, with your cards, with your return address labels, with your home value reports, if you're hitting them up hard in the winter, it will absolutely pay off. And if you do it, I want to know in January, how many people called you in January or February? Well, I mean, you have to tell me February, right? But I want to know how many people called and, you know, it came to fruition. I guarantee you will get multiple listing calls from that. Just those very basic actions. Okay. Crystal, how do you feel about that? It's hard when you're starting and, you know, do you have a database?
Not so much. I've been trying to connect with like local people, and just trying to figure out ways to connect in my area. Because it's like a big change, for career-wise. So I've been connecting with people that, I work with as well. So a lot of people are saying they don't want to move right now or do anything because of the holidays. So yeah, looking towards, yeah.
They don't. But they're thinking about it for January, February, and March, right? Mm-hmm. So the more you're in front of them and the more you're sending them the stuff that they know that you can help them, the more likely you are to get that listing. Mm-hmm. Katrina, you are in Williamsburg, Virginia. How's your market going? As slow as the U.S. mail. Girl, it's about to pick up. It's about to pick up. I'm telling you, I feel it. I mean, we had a massive historic snowstorm last weekend, and I thought for sure that we weren't going to have a whole lot of business this weekend, and or like Sunday, Monday. And I can tell you that Monday was probably the busiest day I have had in 3 years. I mean, I could barely hold on. I was calling everybody on my team, all hands on deck. But it's not that way all the way across the board for every listing in Denver, right, that we have. But yeah, it's coming. And I encourage you to, I don't know if you have the link to the mastermind. Barry Habib did one. It's on YouTube. Let's see. It is called Leo. You can look it up on Leo Robles. So the last name Leo. Yeah, Leo, like Leo, and his last name's Roble. And Barry Habib's talking on it. It's called, the YouTube video is called Uncover Future Real Estate Trends. Can you spell his last name? Robles, Robles. It's on YouTube. Very informative, very informative. It's a game changer if you're going up against anybody else, right? Mm-hmm. So when somebody asks you, what's going to happen with interest rates? Well, you know, if you've listened to me ever before, I've told you a million times, do not quote interest rate, please, right? But this YouTube right here will give you the tools you need to answer that question without breaking, FCC or whatever those laws are, lending laws. So it talks about like following the Fed and Fed predictions and where the interest rates are going to be, nationwide appreciation. So what I took from it is nationwide, they're expecting a 4.1% appreciation across the board coming out here soon and this in 2025. Because, and then they're saying that the inventory levels are low nationwide. Well, I know enough about my market to tell you that our inventory level is up 19% over last year. So if I can break down my data correctly, I can pretty much tell the people that want to list in January, February, or March where they're going to be, what the interest rates are going to be, and what's going to happen, right? So listen to that for the nationwide, and then break down your market really, really, really well. And start doing like videos and stuff too. So I talked about print. You got to be in front of your people right now so that everything you do now pays off in 90 to 120, 180 days, right? So you got to be in front of them as much as you possibly can in print. You also have to be in front of them on their messenger and on their phone, right? They have to be seeing you right now. If you want to have listings in January, February, if you don't do it, another agent in your market's going to, right? And they're going to take your people. So don't let them have your people. So,
and got it.
Totally. So everything you do today, that's the theme of this call. Everything that you hunker down and you do today will pay off in January, February. You might even get listings before then. But, and the other thing too that I do is I'll go on a listing thing and they say, I want to list in January. So I actually take, I don't know if your brokers will allow you to do this, but I take listings beginning in January with TBD, to be determined price. And at the bottom, it says this listing is beginning in January at seller's request, yada, yada, yada. Price will be evaluated 7 days before for the coming soon period, right? And now I know I have that listing. So now I can plan my budget too, right? How many listings are you going to take in? I'm going to take them all. But at least I know how much money I need to market my properties, right? So I hope that, my long rambling today helped some of you. Does anybody have any questions before I jump off? Violence. Come on.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, my name is Jennifer. My last name is Sells, S-E-L-L-S. I'm in Denver, Colorado. That is my puppy who thinks she's tough. You can always reach out to me. Easy to find on Google, so just give me a call or send me a text and happy to help.
Yes.
Thank you. So you guys have a great day.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.